Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Marion, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet this crop sweater. I really do love this sweater simply because there are three ways in which you can style it. One is how I'm putting it on with one shoulder down like this. Another way you can put this sweater on is by putting both shoulders down. It's a completely off shoulder sweater, or you can decide to put both shoulders up like this and just rock it with your favorite jeans, you know, like that. So this sweater is very easy to construct. You only have to know 2 stitches, that is half double crochet in the back loop only to form the ribbing, and at the border here and at the wrist we have single crochet. So without wasting so much time, let's get right into the video. This project I'm using chunky yarn seal. It's 3-ply and it's 100% acrylic. This particular yarn is made in Kenya. For that I'm using a 5.0 millimeter crochet hook. I'm also using a yarn needle to weave in my ends. You also need a tape measure to take your measurements, a pair of scissors, and some stitch markers. So to begin, make a slip knot and make a chain long enough to cover from the front hem all the way to the back hem. For me, I'm going to chain 120. So to chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, that is 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I've chained 120, and when I measure that, it's up to 20 inches. And now this is, as you can see, I have halfened my chain. So this means we are working both the front and the back panel together. So this is 120 chains, add 1. This one will act as a turning chain, and then now you go into the second chain and make a single crochet. Make a total of 10 single crochets. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10. Now from here we are going to make half double crochets. So yarn over, insert a hook in the next chain, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through them all. Yarn over, insert a hook in the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through them all. So we're going to do this single half double crochets all the way until we have a total of 10 chains left on this other side. You can actually take a stitch marker and mark the 10th stitch from the other end, so that when you get here we are going to work single crochets on this side. So let me continue working my half double crochets until I have 10 stitches left on the other side. We get to where we had marked on our 10th stitch, that's where we are going to start working single crochets. So insert a hook, pull up a loop, you have to, and pull through, insert a hook, pull up a loop, you have two, pull up a loop through the two. So at the end of it all, you should have 10 single crochets on this end. So once you get to the very end, you're going to chain one, turn your work, and where we have single crochets, we are also going to work single crochets on top of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the very last one, 10. Now after we are done with the 10 single crochets that will form the hemming on this side, we are now going to start working on the body of the sweater, and at this point we are going to start working half double crochets in the back loop only. So when you look at your work at the top, you will notice that there are these V's on top of each stitch from the previous row, and now we are going to go into the back loop, this one, to form the nice ribbing on the body of the sweater. So yarn over, insert your hook into the back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through them all to form a half double crochet. Let's do that again. Yarn over, go into the back loop, pull up a loop and yarn over, pull through them all to form a half double crochet. So we are going to form half double crochets on the back loop only all the way through until we get to this other side, just before we work our hemming on this other side. If you're using my measurements, you should have 100 half double crochets in the back loop only. And now we're going to complete the border with single crochets, 10 single crochets. Once you get to the end of that row, chain one, turn your work and work 10 single crochets to form the border down here. And once you're done with your 10 single crochets, we are going to go into the next stitch, which is a half double crochet with a half double crochet, but now on the back loop only. Work this until you have 100 half double crochets in the back loop only. Once you're done with the half double crochets in the back loop only, we're going to start the border, and we're giving it single crochets. So 10 single crochets on the border. Once you're done, chain one, turn your work, and also start working your 10 single crochets on the next row. Once you get there, you will start working your half double crochet in the back loop only. Now we are going to repeat this until you have a quarter of your waist measurement. If you measure down here, you should get a quarter of your waist measurement. If you're following my measurements, by the end of this part you should have a total of 18 rows. So continue working your rows until you get the correct measurements that you're working with, and then I will meet you and then we'll work at the middle of the sweater. So just remember, we are working single crochets on the border, and the sweater is getting half double crochet in the back loop only. Okay, so I will meet you once I'm done with my rows. I went ahead and completed the first half of my work. So what we have here is the body of the sweater, the first half, and this is just half double crochet in the back loop only, that is giving us this ribbed area, and this is single crochet, which is forming the border. Now you should have made your rows. I have made 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so I have 18 rows, but of course you may have less or more depending on the measurements that you're using. So the part that I have marked off here is 7.5 inches. So this is going to be my neck area. My neckline will be 7.5 inches. And now I have counted 28 stitches from all the way from this first half double crochet up to the part where I have marked. These are 28 stitches, and of course what you do on this side you should also do it on this side. And now the remaining part, this neck area, is 44 stitches. So as we're going to work, you'll see how we are going to incorporate those numbers. Let me grab my hook. So chain 1, turn your work, and we are going to work 10 single crochets as we have normally done. So 10 single crochets here, and then we work 28 half double crochets in the back loop only of this part up to the part where we have marked off with a stitch marker. So we are starting to work the half double crochet. So I've worked my half double crochet in the back loop only in 26 stitches, and now the remaining 2 stitches I want to place half double crochets, but not in the back loop only. I'll just take both the loops and make a half double crochet, and then we are going to chain 44 stitches, 44 chains, until we get to the other side of the sweater. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44. And once you have your 44 stitches, you will come and work a half double crochet in the stitch that you marked on the other side. Remember, we're not doing in the back loop, we are just doing a half double crochet in that stitch and in the following stitch, and then now we continue doing our half double crochet in the back loop only for the remaining 26 stitches until we reach the part where we have a stitch marker and do our single crochets on the border. I'm done working the half double crochets in the back loop only, and now I want to start working the single crochets. The very last one, chain one and turn. And now on this row we're going to work 10 single crochets and then 28 half double crochets in the back loop only. And then when we get to this string that we made, this chain, we will work half double crochets until we get to the other side of the sweater, where we are going to work half double crochets in the back loop only, and then we do our border of 10 single crochets. Now we've started working the second half of the sweater. If you're working with two colors where you want to put this half of the sweater a different color and this other half of the sweater a different color, you will change your color just before on this very row. This row that has a string, that is where you will introduce a different color. So this previous row that we just did, I completed my row of half double crochet back loop only, and now we want to enter that part where we have this string. Now we'll be working half double crochets on that chain. So by the end of this part you should have 44 half double crochets, or whichever number that you're doing. If you're doing a deeper neck, definitely have more chains. If you're doing a more shallow neck, you definitely have less chains. But since I'm doing 7.5, that is 15 inches, I have 44 chains in total. So continue doing your half double crochets until you get to this part. So this is what you should have by the end of when you get to this part, in that when you fold it like this, we have now started this other end like that. So now we want to work our half double crochet in the back loop only of this remaining part of the row. Once you complete that row, we want you to continue working your half double crochets in the back loop only on the body and your 10 single crochets on the border on both sides until you complete you equate. Like if you had 18 rows on this side, you should also have 18 rows on this side. And I encourage you to count from up here, not down here. Count from this part where you'll get the accurate number of rows that you're going to work with. So happy crocheting, and I will meet you once you're done with the body of the sweater, and then we'll work the sleeves together. So by now you should be having something like this. I have completed mine, and now what we're going to do next is seam the sides, and I need you to turn your sweater, find the wrong side, whichever side you call the wrong side, and then we are going to use single crochet to seam it. Before you stitch the whole thing together, you need to mark where your armhole measurements are. Now mine is going to be about 7 inches, so I have marked that off with a stitch marker. And now we're going to seam this part up, and then we'll stop right where the stitch marker is. So insert your hook on this other side and pull up this loop and chain one, and we are going to work single crochets. So you insert your hook through this V on this panel and the V on the other panel, and pull up a loop through them all and do a single crochet. So continue doing your single crochets until you get to the point where you have marked off. When you get to this part, you will cut off your chain one first and then cut off your yarn, and then you will reattach on this other side and do reattach the yarn right here and do the same thing to this side. And part is the sleeve. I want to show you how to construct a sleeve and attach, just like I have done on this side. I went ahead and did a whole sleeve and attached it on one side. So we want to do together, we do a sleeve and then attach it on the other side of the sweater. So grab your yarn and your hook and chain 55. This 55 is giving me around 19 inches sleeve, but if you want it longer or shorter, you can adjust your stitches accordingly. So I'm going to chain 55. So I have my 55 chains. I'm going to add one as the turning chain, and then I do 10 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Once I have my 10 single crochets, I want to do half double crochets on the remaining part of the chain. So yarn over, insert your hook in the next chain, pull up a loop, you have 3, yarn over and pull through them all. So continue making your half double crochet on the remaining part of this chain. Once you get to this side of the chain, once you complete your half double crochets, you're gonna chain 2, turn your work, and in that very first stitch in the back loop, you're gonna go in with a half double crochet, and we are making that ribbing part on the sleeves too. So we are using half double crochet in the back loop only. So continue working your half double crochet in the back loop only until you get to this very first half double crochet here, and then now you will do single crochets on the remaining part of the sleeve. Now when you get to that part where you're doing your single crochets, always remember to mark this first stitch where your first single crochet will go in, because if you sometimes it's confusing, you might confuse and work half double crochets where they're not supposed to be worked. So this part, this wrist area, gets the 10 single crochets, and once you get to the end, you're gonna chain one, turn your work, and then continue working single crochets. Work 10 of them, and once you get to this part, you will start working half double crochets in the back loop only. We went ahead to make 24 rows, and now we want to fold it into two and work as a seam, and we'll use single crochet to do that. So don't cut your yarn, just continue working with it, and you're going to do just like we did on the sides of the panels. We're also going to do the same on this very side. So just take this side and the V on the other side and make a single crochet. So we are going to make these single crochets until we get to this point here. Done. This is what you should be having. See how invincible that seam is. Now we want to attach this sleeve to the sweater that we had done before. So get your sweater and just make sure that the right sides are together. Put the right sides together, and then turn the sweater to the wrong side, because we want to work the seam on the wrong side of the sweater. So you will turn the sweater to the wrong side, and just make sure the sleeve is still attached, so that you don't lose that position. Just align it, and you can even take your stitch marker and just align everything together like that. And also on this other side where you're going to start your seam, put a stitch marker over there and just make sure like everything is in line. And now we're going to start working our seam. So now we'll still use single crochets. We're going to insert our hook right here from the previous seam and pull this chain from the other side, and make sure like that, and do a chain. Now work our single crochets. You take this V from the side, from the body of the sweater, and you take the ridge of the sleeve and do a double crochet. Take the V from this side and the valley from the sleeve and make a single crochet. Take the V and the ridge and make a single crochet. So continue working the single crochets until you do it all around this part, and you will be done with the sleeve. We are going to do a row of half double crochets on this side, on this neck area, all around. So I will start from this point at the shoulder, so that once I get here, it will just be smooth, and then we will complete from here. So insert your hook and attach your yarn, make a slip knot and attach your yarn here. Now chain 2 and do a half double crochet in the very same stitch, and continue doing half double crochets in each and every stitch all around this area, just to clean it off. We need to make sure that our work is neat and presentable. So when you get here, go directly into the middle stitch and go into the other side like that. So continue working like this until you get to the point where you started from. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and like this video. Share it with your friends who are actually into crochet, and leave a comment. Tell me what you like about this sweater, and tell me where you're crocheting from, so that I can leave you a shout out in my next video. Thank you. This is Marion. Thank you for hanging out with me. Until next time, bye.